Hey, what's up guys? So I'm out here sitting in the cold to do a little video. We're gonna have a little heart-to-heart here. I have some disappointing news, mostly for me, obviously, but some of you may be disappointing. So, I wanted to call this the Fat Man Diaries, and people are offended by the F word. It's not to go on a completely different rant here, but it's a little ridiculous that like certain words are just like banned on social media. Like even a news story, there'll be actual like, you know, private independent little news people, and they'll tell a story and maybe the R word, you know, what you might do to someone they don't want to be done with them. You'll have to like use the R and the and sign, and you can't actually use the word. There's so many words that are normal and they should not be offensive. They're just real words that have real meanings, but you can't use them. So the FAT thing is, it's offensive, I guess, to certain people who are larger than life. So I'll call this something else. I don't know, Life Journal or just my journal or whatever. You'll see. Obviously, I already picked the title by the time you're watching this. But I want to start it again, just to give you guys sporadic updates. It's not like it's every week, every day, every month. Who knows when I'll do the next one. But I'm here to tell you that, unfortunately, I gained all my weight back. I know. This morning I weighed 345 pounds. I know, that's ridiculous. And, you know, it doesn't mean I'm just like giving up and that's it. You know, part of me just wants to go, why even try to diet? Why even try to change? Just be this, and this way there won't be disappointment. Because every time I go on a diet, and I'm always successful, I always lose weight, but then I always gain it back. And it's constant disappointment. It actually brings on some kind of depression. It's not long term. It's not like, you know, I'm sitting in a dark room crying myself or anything like that, but there's definitely moments throughout the day or week or whatever where I feel really disappointed in myself and I feel really down, and it becomes depressive or depressing. So I'm not trying to look at it like that anymore. I'm trying to change kind of my approach. Really what it is I have an addiction to food. And I said it before, like I understand that. I have an addiction to food, but you know, it's just food is something that's so accepted in society. Food's everywhere. If you have an addiction to gambling, you don't see really gambling commercials, you know, every other commercial. You don't see gambling ads in your email every day. You don't see billboards for gambling. Now, granted, there could be a gambling ad or whatever, all these places, but not regularly. Food is just in your face. They throw it literally down your throat. No one's advertising wonderful, you know, healthy salads with no dressing. They're advertising junk food, you know, all the fast food stuff. And I do use all these different excuses. Like even just having a YouTube channel, when there's some kind of new flavor snack, I want to try it for the channel. It doesn't mean, you know, I have to eat 5 bags of it, and I don't. But because I went out and bought the 1 bag, and I try a couple on camera, then it's like, all right, well, it's sitting in the house. And it's not like I'm just gorging myself. It's hard because you guys don't have a picture into my full life, my everyday 24 hours, you know, 7 days a week, what I do. I make a lot of poor decisions when it comes to eating. Everything I could do wrong, I do wrong, but I'm not like sitting here binging. You'll never find me just watching TV with a bucket of ice cream, just shoveling it in with a giant spoon. You'll never find me polish off an entire bag of chips or something, or have 5 sandwiches. I do all the wrong things. Eating at the wrong time, eating the wrong types of food, having the wrong amounts of food. I mean, I know everything I do wrong, and that's why it's an addiction, because it seems almost crazy. Like I know exactly what I'm doing wrong, even when I'm doing it, but I make excuses in my mind. I'll give you a great example. I wanted to get, you know, back into it and eat healthy and exercise and all that kind of stuff a couple days ago, and it was my dad's birthday. It was actually my mom and dad's birthday, very close to each other, so usually as a family we'll celebrate them together as one. It's hard for everyone to get together, you know, because of our schedules and stuff. So they went and spent a night at a hotel, and the family came up and we all met, and we went to Hibachi Steakhouse, which was fantastic. You know, something we do, you know, for Christmas every year, so they want to do it for their birthday, and that was fine, totally fine. But like, you know, I said beforehand, I'm not gonna have like cake and stuff, right? And what did I do? I had some cake. Because, you know what? It's just, you know, it's just a birthday. How often do birthdays pop up? Well, every year. But it's just an example. It's a small example of, like, here's my excuse. And what I end up doing all the time is I do the tomorrow's a new day. You know, if I get behind a little bit. Oh, that's okay. You know, tomorrow's a new day, a fresh start. I've been having fresh starts since I was probably 15 years old. You know, I'm not trying to like make light of the whole thing, but I'm really just kind of looking at it as in a different light. You know, it is an addiction. It's crazy because like I don't do hard drugs. I say that like I do a lot of drugs, but just not hard ones. I've done drugs, just not lately, not in many, many years, and they weren't hard to me. Anyway, so, yeah, I've talked about that in other videos. So, I smoked a lot of pot, I took some mushrooms. I had, one of my favorite things was hash. I mean, I love the weed, but hash was just like weed on steroids, and tasted great. Yeah, so, and like these days, I have no interest at all, like smoking weed or anything like that. If it ever goes, you know, recreational in Pennsylvania, which it was, but, you know, the pandemic put a hold on that. If it ever becomes like totally legal, I don't know, maybe once in like a blue moon to like help me sleep or something, but I don't find joy in it personally. And it's weird because, and I've talked about this many times, if you haven't seen old videos, but like when I was younger, I hated alcohol. I had friends who drank, I did not drink. I just didn't like it. My dad grew up, you know, drinking beer and stuff, you know, parties, normal kind of stuff like that. And I'd have a beer every now and again. Oh, it's gross. I don't want it. And then, but I was all about the weed. So it's like, dude, no, I don't want to drink, but, you know, let's go spark up in the woods, you know. But now it's the opposite. Like, if I want to get a buzz, you know, or feel high for some reason, I would much prefer alcohol. But neither one of them is good. in quantity, I'll say that. Yes, I know certain people can use, you know, marijuana for medical purposes and reasons and stuff. Honestly, for some people, it becomes a scapegoat. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but like, you know, there's a lot of people I know who are in pain, and you might smoke a little weed for the pain, and, you know, yeah, it helps a little bit, but, you know, you don't mind getting high, do you? So it becomes the like, oh, you know, I need it for my pain, but is it really helping? Maybe a little bit, but anyway, I'm just saying, a lot of people do use excuses to smoke weed too. But yeah, I mean, my thing is, the whole point of the drug, bringing that up was like, I can't relate to a heroin junkie. I can't relate to a meth head or a crack head. Not personally, because I haven't had crack or meth or heroin, but it's almost like I understand. I don't have the physical withdrawals. It's not like if I don't have junk food, I'll, you know, get the shakes and feel, you know, violently ill. Obviously, there's some extreme side effects to going cold turkey when you're a drug addict. But like maybe it's comparable to like a sex addict, or maybe like a people have a gambling addiction, just other addictions where it's just like I mentally know I'm not doing good, but I just can't stop. You know, and it's really all addiction. Some of it's physical, obviously, but it's mental. And it becomes such a selfishness, and you don't even realize it. Like, me not, like, giving in and coming up with excuse for food, it's ultimately selfish, because I'm only hurting myself, and by hurting myself, I'm hurting the people around me who I love. You know, I want to be here for a long time. But I'll tell you, and again, not to get into a whole thing, because I'll probably get emotional about it, but when I was younger, and I've said this, if you've watched it for years and years, you probably know this, but there's people who subscribe all the time who are new. But I almost died when I was like 17, you know, over the summer, before high school. I had some random attack. My body was attacking itself. I had some kind of virus, and my heart, all around my heart, filled with fluid, and my chest and my lungs, I couldn't breathe. They thought I had bronchitis. And at some point, I went back to the doctor. Like, I couldn't even lay down. When I laid down, I was choking to death. So I went like a week with no sleep, just like sitting up, and it was the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my entire life. And went back to the doctor, and they took an x-ray, and the nurse's face turned white. The x-ray was just black. It's just all fluid. And they never seen anything like that. They, you know, called an ambulance, rushed me to the hospital, called my parents at work, and you know, they had to all rush down because they had to do an emergency surgery, like right now. We got to relieve all this pressure, otherwise this kid's going to die. And it was nasty. They stuck me in the chest with a giant needle to like numb it up, and then they cut a hole in my chest, fed in a tube. The pressure, like, even though they like numb me up, the pressure of someone feeding a hose directly into your chest is something you can't describe. That's something you have to kind of, you know, experience yourself. Anyway, so they drain the fluid. I have a lot of stories from being in the hospital and stuff. Maybe they're good for other storytime videos in the future. But one of them was like I was tired, and I have these bags, these IV bags, and they come change them every like 4 or 5 hours because they fill up. I had liters and liters of fluid in my lungs and around my heart. And so I remember, like, you know, I couldn't get comfortable, and I rolled over in the hospital bed, and I rolled onto the friggin' bag. And it imagine squeezing a bag. It shot all that juice back into my chest. I went, like, I probably screamed. I screamed like a little girl. Yeah, that was pretty intense and painful and shocking. So yeah, so I almost died, and the doctors are like, all right, yeah, you know, this, because the biggest question is, what is this? And they're like, we don't know. There's no real explanation. You got sick. Your body attacked itself. It didn't know when to stop. It's like if you have some kind of sickness, your body fights it with your white blood cells, and, you know, it just didn't, my body was confused, and it was attacking itself over and over again, and it wouldn't have stopped. I would have just suffocated. I wouldn't be able to breathe. I didn't have enough tissue left in my lungs to absorb oxygen. So I said, all right, well, what the hell? Is this going to happen again? And the doctor said that, and again, I'm 17, turning 18 years old. He said, well, you know, it's not super common, but people have had this. And this is the worst case they particularly saw before. But they said there has been people who came back like in their late 20s, you know, or early 30s, and had it again, maybe not as severe. But like I was convinced that I was going to die at a young age. And there's some other stuff in my life that happened, which I'm not going to get into in this video, but I was very convinced, and part of me is still kind of convinced that I'm going to die young, like soon. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like when I was like 25, I thought, all right, well, this must be it. And then I hit 30, I'm like, all right, well, then I'm 30, I'm probably going to die soon, and 35. So like it hasn't been happening. Obviously, I'm still kicking, so who knows? Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't die young. Maybe I live to be 80, 90. Or maybe I just live to be like 65. I have no idea. I could die tomorrow. I will say, and this is a complete side note, I've wanted to make videos, and this sounds crazy, but I wanted to make a video of my, like, obituary. I wanted to have a video where I just gave you guys a heart-to-heart that I wanted my wife to upload when I died. It was like kind of a last video, you know, like once I'm dead, I can't make it. So let me make it before I die, and then when I die, she can upload it, and she just wouldn't. We actually got into like an argument over it because she said it was really like, you know, depressing and like macabre to even say that. You know, there's no reason to believe that you're gonna die, but I want to do it. Who knows? Maybe I have a secret video somewhere for her to find one day to upload when I'm dead. But anyway, the whole point is I didn't think I would live long, right? So like year after year goes by, I want to get healthy, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, what's the point? I'm gonna die. I don't really believe like that anymore, really. I have to kind of foresee the future, and I want to live. I want to live a long, fruitful life. I want to have children. I want to at least have one kid. Even if I had the option for two, I'd probably just want one. I don't know. It depends. I kind of want a boy, so if I had a girl, I'd probably have a second kid to try for a boy. But if I had two girls, that's fine, whatever. Or if, you know, whatever. But there's certain things in my life that have to progress to have kids. And, you know, part of that's moving into a different home and different area, getting different jobs, making more money. And I'm hoping it happens within the next, you know, 5-10 years. But, you know, I'm getting older. And, you know, I don't want a kid when I'm, you know, 60. So I do want to say that if I died tomorrow, that's it. Just some freak accident. I'm dead tomorrow. I had an amazing life. I feel so fortunate. The scariest thing in the world to me, and the reason I don't want to die is because I don't want my family to go through that, but more so I don't want my wife to go through that. You know, I'm a husband and a protector, and that's how I feel about the whole thing, and I feel like if I died before her, then I'm you know, leaving her. And I'm not there to protect her. I'm not there to provide for her or be with her and stuff. So that, you know, when I was single, it was different. I didn't care. I didn't care about dying. And now that I'm married and in love, I don't want to die. I don't want to leave her. But besides that, you know, it's okay. I know we're all going to die at some point. You know, people all around me, people I know. Hey, oh, I hear about, oh, that person died. Oh, that kid died who I went to high school with. Oh, it's so sad. Oh, this person died. Oh, that's in the news. It's all going to happen. We don't know when. But I'm just saying, I'm just vocalizing for anyone who sees this after I'm dead, maybe 50 years from now, who knows? I had an amazing life. I got to experience so many things. I got to meet so many people. This whole YouTube thing was pretty unique. I have people who really love me, and I feel very fortunate for that. I saw a guy today. I'll tell you a very quick story. I saw a guy today at the post office, and I see him all the time. It's an older black guy, and we make like small chat every now and again. And I'm like, hey, you know, I never got your name. His name is Ed. I'm like, hey Ed, how you doing? You know, like it's nice to like officially meet you. I see you all the time here and stuff. So we were talking a little bit. He asked me if I had kids. I said, no, I don't have any kids. And I said, what about you? And he said, no, I don't have a family. And I didn't ask why or anything. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But it, like, I don't know, it hit me really weird. It felt like, I like felt weird about it, you know. Obviously, everyone has their own story and stuff, but I felt just like super sad for this guy. That's it. He does whatever he does. He has his routine. I just happen to see him occasionally getting my mail. But yeah, I was thinking about it a lot today. Ed, what's the story? You know, I didn't want to pry. I don't want to ask him questions. I don't know if it's hard for him to talk about or anything like that. Maybe he doesn't care. I don't know. I did ask him, you know, if he's like from Pennsylvania. He's not. He's from Newark originally. Came up to Pennsylvania, but that was about all I got out of him. Just seems like a really sweet old guy, you know. We hold the door for each other all the time. Hey, how's it going? Talk about the weather, small talk stuff, you know. But yeah, that bummed me out. That was sad to me. So, I can't help but think all day today, like, one day Ed's gonna die and that'll be it. No one knows, no one cares. That's some sad stuff. That's depressing. So it made me think about my life, and I know when I die, and I don't want a funeral, obituary, I don't want all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't want attention. Even birthdays, I don't like being, you know, the center of attention. I don't like it. I like doing things for other people. I appreciate people doing things for me, and I love people and have friends and family, and all you guys are, you know, part of my family on the internet. And I enjoy it all and stuff, but I really don't like the attention, which seems strange because I film myself all the time, constantly, for years. But I'm not trying to seek that attention. I'm doing this because I enjoy the hobbies, and I enjoy just, you know, talking about different things with you guys. But yeah, so my belief that I was gonna die young, who knows if it'll come true or not, but obviously I'm here. I didn't die in my 20s, and I'll be 40 next year, so unless something happens soon, which would be weird because I'm talking about it, you know, I made it to my 30s, so I have to really, you know, plan for the future. And I have to stop being lazy about it. At the end of the day, it's a selfishness and a laziness. And I know people come with excuses, but that is the fact. If you are big and fat, you're selfish and lazy. And some people don't want to hear that. That's offensive. Oh, what are you talking? I have problems. Oh, I can't do this because of that, or I can't do this, or I have bad knees, or yeah, you have bad knees because you're big. There's nothing good about being big. Every day of my life, I hurt. Every day, I have pain because I'm overweight. And it only intensifies when you get older. When I was 20, no big deal. I could run, I could be physical, I could do whatever, you know, and I was a big fat kid, big fat guy, you know, as an adult. But like, as time goes on, your body just breaks down. And, you know, I don't want to make some like motivational thing. I want to motivate myself. I don't want to, you know, pump it up on here unless I have some progress, you know. And I feel bad because I feel like I disappointed some of you guys out there, you know, girls, whoever's watching. Because there's people send messages all the time like, dude, I watched your videos, and like, oh man, I lost 50 pounds, you motivated me. I think that's amazing. I really, really do. And you guys do motivate me all the time. But this is not like, it's not the end of the journey, right? The journey of losing weight. It's just an ongoing saga for most people. And I'm no different. I'm no exception. I come up with excuses. I realize that it's a selfishness and it's a laziness. You know, in the moment, I want that snack, you know, and I come up with an excuse for that snack. I'm not really thinking about what that snack's causing me. That one little handful of chips, that one donut or something, is that my last one? Is that the one I have right before I have a heart attack? You know? So it's some serious stuff. It's some deep stuff. There's definitely some psychological stuff going on in a lot of people's heads that have addictions for different reasons. I had a wonderful childhood. It's not like I was beaten or something and now I, you know, want donuts all the time. It's Nothing that simple. It's just a selfishness. I love food, and I do find food comforting, and it's subconscious. You know, if I'm anxious about something, thinking about bills, thinking about money, thinking about someone I love who's hurt, the long laundry list of stuff that worry us as people, I subconsciously go to the food. And, you know, I'm not even thinking about it. It's not like, oh man, I got some bad news and I go eat something. I don't think about it at all. I'll tell you, like, my dad smoked cigarettes, and he's tried quitting many, many times. And there'll be moments where, like, I'll watch him, and I've had this discussion with him too, and it's like the triggers for a cigarette. If he has a meal, he has a cigarette when he's done. You know, if he gets bad news, immediately has a cigarette. If he's arguing, he'll have a cigarette. If he's arguing a lot, he'll light one cigarette off another cigarette. If he goes to the bathroom, he has a cigarette. There's a long list of triggers, and every time these different events happen, these different things, it causes him to subconsciously light a cigarette. And so it's no different with food. I'm just not thinking about it. You know, my dad's lighting cigarettes. He is not thinking, oh, I'm going to have a cigarette right now. He just does it. It's like, for anyone who drives, which is probably most people watching this video, do you ever find yourself driving from A to B and not even know you drove there? Because you're thinking about so many things. You're not thinking about working the gas pedal, working the brake pedal, turning, signal, watching, make sure no one's coming, making your turn. Do you ever have like an argument or a passionate discussion with someone in the car? You don't just stop driving. You don't get to an accident because you're yelling. Driving becomes something you're doing in the background. You're not even thinking about it. You're looking in your mirrors, you're making your turns, you're slowing down, you're speeding up. You're doing all this subconsciously. It's no different, I think, than you know, certain addictions where you're just doing it. It's just part of your life. You don't think about it. So it's hard to stop yourself from doing it because you don't realize you're doing it. And again, with food, it's different because you don't see billboards for you know, heroin. Oop, who's calling me? Hang on one second. Oh, it's the love of my life. Hang on one second. Hey, baby. Hey, listen, I'm filming a video, so I'm going to call you back, all right?
Okay.
All right, I love you.
Yeah.
All right, bye. All right, I hung up on her. She was talking. All right, so normally I edit stuff like that out, but I'll leave it in here. Anyway, I'm blabbing on here. I'm fat, again, you know, so be it. I'm not giving up. I'm not trying to say I'm all motivated and stuff. I really am motivated, but what I have to do is I have to dissect all of my problems and really figure out what I could do to really make a change, you know, because a lot of it's talk. Talk's cheap. And obviously, you know, I work so hard and just like that, I gave it up. And it's insane. This is literally just holiday eating, a couple snacks here and there, a couple desserts here and there. During the holidays, it's bad because there's a lot of sweets. Now, it's not like I have a big sweet tooth or anything, but, you know, there's a plethora of just like cookies and cakes and all this crap. So a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, real easy to pack on the pounds. You know, wintertime's also hard in general. That's when you have your nice hearty soups and stews. And I'll tell you, right now in the crock pot, Mississippi pot roasts. If you haven't seen my my video on that, check it out, the recipe. It's not my original idea or anything. It's been around a while, way before I even discovered it, but delicious. But I have to teach myself to focus on, you know, details. You know, when I have that later for dinner, I have a smaller portion. I don't have bread with it. You know what I mean? I don't add stuff to it. I just have a little bit. Some veggies on the side. I do have a bunch of vegetables in the house I can make for side dish. And it's all those little things. It's a collective. It's a bunch of little dots. And they all have to line up to find success. That's the only way it works. You can't just change one thing. You can't just, you know, eat like crap all day long, but take a walk every now and again. You're not going to get anywhere. And as a lot of people say, you know, when you're doing certain diet or exercise, and a diet is short term. You can diet, but if you're not changing who you are, which is ridiculously hard, you won't see the long-lasting effects. Now, some of you watching, you have lost weight and you've kept it off, and that's amazing. That's amazing. I give a huge a shout out to my sister-in-law, Joanna. She lost weight years ago, kept it off. That's it. She changed her life. She changed, you know, what she does, how active she is, what she eats, that kind of stuff. And that's amazing. And it is, it's very influential and it's very inspiring to see that. But I'm not thinking about that when I'm, you know, making a sandwich and I have a little bit extra meat on there, or maybe some condiments I shouldn't, or whatever, you know. I have to just be aware of it at all times and realize it's bad and it's hard. I make excuses like everyone else. I'll do it. I'll get it done. I don't know when. I can't make any more promises about, you know, like the whole hair thing. It's ridiculous to me and it's upsetting to me that I went through all that heartache and I threw it away. You know what I mean? That it does bother me. It's like, it's a stupid move. You ever do something and you're like, man, that was stupid. Why did I do that? Could be the littlest thing, could be a big thing that changes your life, but you're kicking yourself. You're like, what the hell's wrong with me, man? Why did I do that? That was really dumb. Well, that's what it was. It was a really dumb moment. I put a lot of energy and effort into something, made people suffer, was uncomfortable for a long time. For what? Nothing. Literally nothing. It was an experience. But, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, I get in front of the camera occasionally. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Again, maybe do an update here and there if I get some progress or something happens. But you'll see. You'll see in the videos. You can tell if I'm gaining weight or losing weight. I made a video recently and someone was like, oh, wow, it looks like you gained weight. Thanks for noticing. Appreciate it. But, you know, it is what it is. I can't promise the world, and I can't... Something I do is I'll promise things. And I don't know if I can follow through. When I'm making a promise, I genuinely feel like I'm going to follow through. But if I don't, I feel stupid. So I'm trying not to make promises I can't keep. And so right now I'm not going to promise I'm losing weight. But I do want to surprise y'all with it. I don't even know why I said y'all. I don't talk like that. That was weird. You all. I like to surprise all of you with it. Y'all. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't talk like that. It's weird. It just came out. But yeah, I'd rather just like, you know, like you see me now, you know. I make a video 2 months from now and I'm just a little slimmer. That'd be nice, you know, and a little slimmer. And then all of a sudden you're like, dude, Jeff's kind of skinny. Good for him. That's what I'm looking for. That's all. I don't want to pump it up. I don't want to keep... Talk is cheap. That's all it is. I don't want to keep talking. It's got to be actions. And, you know, I've had so many pep talks I can't even keep count. So I'm sharing this with you. I'm just letting you know. You know, it's out there. It's not like I'm hiding anything, but I did want to officially say it. It sucks. I'm a big, heavy dude, but I'm working on it. Every day's a struggle. And I'm going to try to figure out ways that, you know, actually make a change that lasts, that works. So we'll see. It's going to take a lot of power, a lot of willpower, a lot of sacrifice, and just a little bit of luck. That's it. It's just a little bit of luck. You got to do it for yourself. It's not going to happen sitting around. So, but thank you for all the messages. I do still very much welcome them. If you have a success story you want to talk about, and it's the opposite too. I've had people say like, "Hey, you know, I've always been scrawny, could never gain weight." That's a worse problem. A lot of people like that where they can't bulk up, and that is way difficult. Like, if you're big and fat, you can just move more and eat less, and then you'll lose weight, unless you have some kind of specific medical condition I don't know about. But when you're smaller and you're trying to get bigger, that is really, really difficult. You know, so I feel for those people as well. It's the complete opposite. They look in the mirror. I look in the mirror. I'm thinking, Jesus, man. I'd be good with half of that, you know, but they're thinking the opposite. Where's the rest of me? You know, that's a whole different issue, and I do think that's harder to deal with. So, that's all. Thanks for watching, guys. You know I love you, right? Most of you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the people who've been around for years and years and years. It's cool. You know, I follow certain people. I've talked about it, and I'm no different. I'm a viewer, just like you guys are a viewer. So I know what it's like to be on the other side of the camera, watching the videos and seeing people's life, and you take it personal. It's like your friends, you know. That's why I feel like we are friends, right? So when your friend's down, you feel bad. When your friend's up, you feel happy for them, and that's how it is. I do it for other people, so I'm sure you do it for me. I appreciate it. I appreciate any advice. I know people are going to give advice down below. I have to figure this out for myself. It's not going to be one diet. It's not going to be one specific solution. Everyone's bodies are different, and even when you're talking about different diets and lifestyles, one thing might work for someone else is going to get, you know, violently ill if they even try it. there's that basic math. Calories in, calories out. Don't eat like a big fatso. Fatso, that's offensive? Probably. Don't be a fatso, and you'll lose weight. That's it. Eat less, move more. Did you ever see the skit? I don't know if it was an SNL or Mad TV. Ooh, I don't even know. Maybe Mad TV, but it was like a commercial for some like weight loss program, and it was a pamphlet, and one side said eat less, and the other one said move more. And the girl's like, I don't know. And he's like, turn around. It's like, eat less. He's like, well, turn around. Move more. This is a poorly designed pamphlet. It's got to be Mad. I think it's Mad TV. Some of you guys might remember that, but it's super funny because it really is that simple. Don't be a fatso. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Hopefully you weren't offended. If you were, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I shouldn't end on like kind of a crappy note like that. I genuinely, if people are upset by something, yeah, that bothers you, that's your thing and your problem, but I just think that these days so many people get offended by so much stuff, and you got to get over it. You know, I could play a victim here. I could totally be I can't control myself, I have a disease. No, I have an addiction to food because it tastes good. It's selfish. That's it. I got to get over it. I got to sacrifice more, that's all. So I'm hopefully going to do it. We'll see. Time will tell. But I did want to say, I do love you guys, and I love my family, and I love my wife. I'm excited to call her back. We've been together almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in October. And it feels like we're dating. I love her to death. And if I go tomorrow, it'll kill me knowing that she's alone. But I want her to be happy, and whatever makes her happy, I'm all for her. But that's my biggest fear in dying. It's not death itself, you know. Obviously, I fear pain. No one wants to like die in agonizing pain. You don't want to die a slow, painful death. But like actual death, I'm kind of curious. I'm not, in a rush to find out, but what's next? Is there anything? Is there even a consciousness? Is it just lights out? We don't know. We all have an idea. I believe in a higher spirit. That's another thing. I don't get into politics and all that kind of stuff, or religion. But I will tell you, I wear a cross every day, and I believe in God. I don't know the full story. I don't go to church. I probably should, if, some people would say that I should go to church. I just believe there's something. There's something out there, and it has to make sense, right? I believe in, the whole idea behind faith is that you don't know. So I believe that, I'm not supposed to know. But once I'm dead, maybe I will know. Who knows? Who knows? Thanks for watching, guys. If you stick to this whole video, I really do appreciate it. I'm just blabbing on, but I'm disappointed, but it's okay. Get up, keep on fighting. That's what you gotta do, right? Thanks for sticking with me all these years, some of you. Wow, like 16 years. Even people have been following me for 5 years, 2 years, a year. Thank you. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.